So you say you're basically not there for the ladies at all?
The ladies. Which literally transcends to we are kneeling on our knees. The depth, we don't ask questions.
Yeah, you just dance.
It was the babies.
The thing, that was what
It was like BT fashion, like it was hands, bro. It was hands.
You need to explain what that.
Probably like over like 100 million people.
Would you say with South African artists, say they're comfortable here?
These people, they don't know what's gonna happen, but they've got that. They're just in the deep end. And fashion building. And I studied it. No, I studied.
I'm not even lie. Like that's what's like really hard. Like having to focus on building the business and still being the creative and overseeing everything. I was in varsity, of course. How are you gonna promote?
It's like a guy in a yoga class, you say.
Yes.
For a person that doesn't know what amapiano is, how will you go about explaining it to them?
To change their flow.
Genres.
You know what I mean? They can change their flow, they can switch to a different genre quick and easy, and they adapt to it, you know what I mean? And that's what makes them stay long in the game, you know what I mean? Some other people, they do not have that character, they don't know how to do that, you know what I mean? And would you say would you say it's something that anyone can learn, or it's something that you need to probably have in you, or it's a talent?
Yeah, no, I'd say it's something that everyone could learn. I mean, if you apply yourself to do a certain thing, then like, what stops you from getting there? So I feel like it's something that I like sort of adjusted to, and it wasn't like very hard of a process. I mean, everything obviously doesn't come easy, but it comes with practice. So it's if you want to do something,
you can do it.
You set your mind, you could do it basically.
True.
But I never wanted to be one thing because I don't listen to one genre of music. I don't listen to like a set amount of artists and say that's it for the day. I listen to a whole lot of music, and it comes from me wanting to make the music that I listen to. So
facts. And when you're making your music, what's your first focus? What would it be, the hook or the verse? What would be your important focus? Because I know if it's a catchy hook,
obviously,
even if the verses are not that dope, like it could be a banger. You know what I mean? Well, what's your most focus on? Like, are you that type of person that I prefer having a catchy hook, a banging hook, than a verse or both?
What I'll do is I'd set up, I'd decide on a beat, whether I make a beat or we'll send through, and then I would just play it, and then I would like focus on like the sound, like sonically, like I'd mumble like a melody or whatever, just to catch the vibe, and then I'd like mumble it, and then I would like record that jibber jabber, the whole lot,
it sound like mumble rap to
me. Sometimes it is just and then you'd like write down words to kind of put that melody, so like once you have the words, it flows and nice and stuff like that. So I like to, that's usually the process where you just mumble things, and then you like write it on your phone, and then like do the verse and all that.
And when you listen to other people, and when you listen to other people's music, what's your main focus? You listen to the hook first? Because for me, I'm like, if you have a dope hook, before I used to be about lyrical blah 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 blah. But for me, nowadays I look for the hook. If the hook is nice,
the problem nowadays when no one wants to listen to the substance of the song.
Exactly, because you want to chill.
History of it for a long time, like. Which literally transcends to we are kneeling on our knees. The depth in that, it doesn't, but you don't ask questions.
Yeah, you just dance.
You don't ask questions, just dance. But like, music with substance is important. I won't lie. Like that's why
you
have albums and stuff. You have to actually express yourself. And that's
because apparently I hear, sorry from that, because I hear the whole album concept is meant to be a theme that runs through, right? The story being told.
Not for everyone, of course, because there's different artists and whatnot. But like, when I'm listening to an album, that tends to be what I listen to. Like, that's what I look forward to. Just to answer your question as to when you asked, of course, what do I listen to when I'm listening to other artists? But if I'm just listening to like a single, and then it would just be like the sonics, dude. Like, how much of you are you representing? Like, does it appeal to me? I usually don't listen to artists that I kind of don't feel like. If I don't relate to you as an artist, or I don't think what you're doing is cool, like from a brand perspective, and then I usually don't listen to that as well, because it has to click. There has to be a certain connect. Otherwise, I'm not in your demographic. I'm not your target market, and that's just that. But apart from like it's the business side of it, I don't know. Like it really affects my music. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm an artist as well.
Yeah.
But from a music perspective, I had to like just trim everything down. It would be like the sound? Is it like, like moving? Is it like,
It's moving the
like
audience.
Lit, is it lit? Are you telling your own, like, is it a representation of who you are?
Yeah.
Is it a representation of something I like? Are you telling a story that I can understand and all of that?
I like how you mentioned going earlier when you said 2020. I think this was the first time I've heard it being called 2020.
2020.
That was a nice one. I like that. Because when you said, because when you said 2020, I was like, wait, hold up. It's going to be 20, like, since we got into the 20s, 2021, 2022. But you said 2020, I was like confused.
Does it feel like the new year for you guys?
Not yet, actually.
Has it kicked in?
Not yet. Honestly, for me, I feel like 2021 was a big skip. Like, I feel like it went from 2020 to 2022. Like, I didn't.
2021 was the big blur.
Not the big blur. Like, it happened fast for me. It happened. A lot of things was personally, a lot of things got done in my end, but it happened. It happened quick. You know what I mean? It was because now we're talking about 2020 being like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Which we just remember it being us inside. Lockdown for the first lockdown, 21 days, and now it's all of a sudden like 22 years ago. You know what I mean?
2 years kicking 30.
2020 was a year to forget for me, though.
A year to forget.
Yes. 2020 was horrible. That was when we were introduced to this whole lockdown and whatnot, so.
Nah, that was horrible, man.
That was the year, like.
Especially especially for like in the music industry or industry, bro. People crashed.
A lot of artists could probably attest to that.
People crashed, bro.
But wasn't that also kind of like an opportunity for a lot of people to make stuff as well?
Depending on the type of artist you are, because remember, you could be an artist that's really dope musically, but the social media game you don't know much. Or whereas you could lack as an artist, but you know how to work your social game really well, and it would give you an open opportunity. Comes like what is the word?
The preparation one.
No. But I'm saying like with tragedy comes like opportunity, or with like
the stock market loves those ones.
That comes with opportunity. So I think the people that could take opportunity of it did so, and that's why we have certain stars today. So
I feel like you have to be like a person that can quickly adapt and overcome for you to have made it a big opportunity with whatever it is, whether it's in the music industry, whatever industry you're in, if you're a person that just always just be comfortable with what you have, it would have been way difficult. Way much, and that's why people was coming with innovative things, like crazy things. You know what I mean? And man.
One thing I was gonna ask is because what currently happened with the last podcast we had, right? Someone I think from the US commented, and they were like, "Yo, the words you're busy saying there doesn't make sense to me. They don't understand what's going on."
Why?
That's understandable because we are throwing in foreign terms, And just on that, so I was gonna ask you, like, if for a person that doesn't know what amapiano is, how will you go about explaining it to them? I put you on the spot there.
Very much.
You mentioned your piano.
Someone that doesn't understand. Like, I'm not an amapiano artist, but what it is like dance music, South African dance music, very much Kwaito influenced, very much driven by the culture that we're living in now in terms of like social media, in terms of like popular culture in South Africa. And I think people gravitate towards it because like it sounds very different from like the music that we used to. It's not hip hop, but that lock drum kind of sounds like an 808.
808 mixing.
Can relate to it. And like funny story, like I hated like boom. Because
really?
Party.
When was it?
And it was
that wasn't my
19 or 18?
17,
was it
19?
Like, it was fire though. It was fire.
For me, it was
fire.
I won't
summer.
Party, like,
but that was the thing. That was
it was like
Distraction Boys.
Those guys.
They took care of that.
They were running a lot of the stuff, but like I didn't like it because it was very like electronic for me. It kind of felt like a dubstep EDM for black kids.
Yes.
And it's like I didn't like that. It was very hard for me to listen to. But then amapiano came in and it felt very like soulful. Like it was like a house, but very soulful. But then the lock drum also had that like the first song I really like took a liking to was them turas that that was like, oh man, because it resonated like with like the Kwaito influence, And then the lock drum was something I never heard in my life, but it sounded like 808. And then it had like the soulful type of element to it. So that's why I felt like, you know, this is the
one.
Lit,
this is a whole new thing. And it escalated, eh?
Yeah.
It escalated to like...
Who knew?
It escalated to like being like, you know, one of the most like listened type of genres, you know what I mean? Yeah. From even international artists. That's crazy. Yeah. It's something, it's a conversation we're having. You know, social media, it's the access. So social media now gives people the access to each other, you know what I mean? So you can literally just have your own type of, you know, style. And once it get the whole social media on it, someone over that side can finally hear it, you know. Way back, it never used to be like that, you know what I mean? Way back, people used to have creative styles, but it stays just here. Even if it's a dope sound, stays just here. Not a lot of people. And
now we have that reach because it's blowing up in countries that, like, the creator, the artist itself might have never set foot in a certain place.
And that creates even more opportunities for people. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see, man. Like,
yeah, but that once again, I think the people who's kind of done that right from the get go. Kind of my opinion on it is the other African nations. You know, I mean, way back they was
D'banj was able to make it work, like when you know,
African pop
outside of Africa, Afro like pop didn't really exist.
Yes.
You know,
but do you think maybe because of how close they are to the European countries that it gets to spread that quick? We here at the bottom, and
yes, especially with Nigeria itself, because there's a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. Because, like, how can I say, like, everybody like from Nigeria would, let's say they go to the UK and that person might be popping in the UK and they share with this person and becomes a thing within the UK. So like they kind of export their own music outside of their country, and that's how it kind of spreads throughout the world. And they're not just in the UK, they're in many like places around the world. And that's why I feel like they have a much more like of a connect than we as South Africans do, because even like within the continent, like our population is like 50 something million, whereas they probably like over like 100 million people. They're over 100 million people. So
it sound like China and India.
You see, it's a lot of like people. You see, so it's able to spread, like something becomes a thing. It's like they're able to rock. Yes, you know, it sets a flame. Like not even in the country, but like the diaspora, and it's like
I mean, the tunes are catchy, by the way.
Yes. So that's why they were able to get an audience, not even in just Africa, but like
worldwide,
you know.
But for me, I feel like, you know, it's because a lot of African artists, well, outside South Africa, they're willing to go abroad and just like, you know what I mean?
And be themselves.
And and like, no, what I'm saying is they're willing to go abroad and just chill there and try to like build the music type of thing. So therefore, then a lot of more artists also get that same, like, you know, encouragement in the go there. But would you say with South African artists, you say they're comfortable here? And because a lot of them don't tend to, like, let's say, go overseas and like stay there and like just build a whole platform there type of thing. You know what I mean? You say it's because they're comfortable being here, they have their own sound, so they don't feel like going there type of thing. Or
I wouldn't say it's comfort, because these things take like a certain network, money.
Yeah, true.
You know, so there's many factors that play into it. So I wouldn't say it's comfortable, but rather just, you know, like having the right framework to kind of do so, like the right financial backing,
all the right people, the right resources.
So it's very hard moving away from something that you like. Maybe it is to a certain extent. It's not black and white, but there's a lot of factors that play into it, because I mean, you gotta pay rent here. You know, your family needs to be taken care of here.
No,
so
the bare necessities.
To start a new life in another country, and you don't even know where this is gonna like work. Meanwhile, at home, you're gigging every single weekend. You don't know what it's gonna be like once you move like the border. So that's why I say like it needs the right type of framework, because you don't want to just buy and then it's dry there, like you're struggling there, and then you know,
and it's expensive. It's way more expensive.
Like literally the rand to the pound sterling, it's like crazy. So
they've gone up. But don't you think also at the same time that's because I always say for people that do take those type of risks, it's quite fascinating, you know, for someone to just because these people, they don't know what's gonna happen, you know.
You throw yourself
but they've got that, they're just in the deep end, and then you know they go off. It's kind of risky. I don't know. You sound like me in that case. You risk averse when it comes to those type of things.
It's it's a hard thing, like for artists, like many artists and stuff. But the people that are actually doing it, like you gotta give them like dab as well, like vocalistic. But at the same time, you need to be at a certain type of a certain type of like level or stature within your own country before you can
So basically have your foundation in place.
You know, like people that have money, that have the connect,
that can support
that
you.
that can like then decide, let me jump here and see like how it works here. Or maybe I can just come here for like a month and then go back home. And then go again maybe 2 months afterwards, and you know. But you need the resources, you need the network, and all of those things that come into factor when you're trying to expand.
Yeah, but I can't help but notice your 2 rings, those 2 lions on both fingers.
Nah, this is like a lion. And this is like a skull and bones. Like,
He's a rock star. He's a rock star.
there's no
Besides
much
music, Cozmik, you into fashion, huh? Would you not say you're a fashion guy?
I used to study fashion design in 2018 at
CPT.
Yeah.
You're in town.
It was quite a dope experience.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to be a designer, man. I thought, like, you know, you get out of high school and then like your parents really want you to study. Mine didn't necessarily pressure me to steer into like a certain like position. But they just all they knew is like, hey, you're not gonna take no gap here. You're not gonna be working. You have to hit the books. Like you have to do this, and then like the closest thing to the music was like the fashion, because I like, you know, I felt like, yo, this is gonna be like fun. Like I've never been in an environment where like everything that I was doing in terms of school was like art related, you know. So I did it, and it was like a fun experience because I made a lot of like my friends.
Nice.
And yeah, man, I just got to see things that I didn't see before. Like I was at like SA Menswear Week a couple of times, and you know, things that I didn't like, you know, get to experience.
Was it mostly practical work though?
Not
was it theory?
Mostly. There was like theory. It was the balance of both. You know, so they teach you like cutout patterns and. You know,
so you say you're basically not there for the ladies at all.
The ladies. I was in varsity, man. Of course I was rocking. I was rocking.
I mean, it's in the fashion building. And I studied it. No, I studied.
I'm not even lie. Like CBT fashion, like there was hands, bro. There was hands. I'm not even
you need to explain what that word means. You know, so
there was the babies. It was babies, bro. Like, I'm not even lying to you. Like,
we need to be careful here before we get the juju thing. Your experience with the words we use. Now there's a certain word. Remember, there's that smash word that was used the whole time. That was not.
Nah. You know, it was beautiful, like women brand. Like I'm not even gonna lie.
And you promised them all a customized
custom outfit.
No woman like outfit.
They were designing it as well. So like I wouldn't like, you know, how are you gonna promote?
It's like a guy in a yoga class. You say,
yes,
I got you. I could see that image.
Like,
I could see it.
You know,
but,
beautiful experience.
Yeah, I can
so
imagine.
is it something you would still consider doing? Let's say, you know, if you ever come to a state where you financially
no, maybe, like definitely no, but I would say I was much more like infatuated with the theory part, like because we'd have like so much like intellectual discussions, because that's the part I loved most about fashion. Like, what is the designer actually trying to say with the showcase? You know, what is the idea behind, like, what is the meaning behind it? And that is essentially what art is. Like, I saw it for the themes and like the things, and besides the love of the textures and like how the garments looked and whatever, but like the meaning behind it, that is what I I love the most. So if I ever had to go into fashion, I would want to be like playing a much more like creative director type of role, where I'll be, you know, like, you know, kind of handling that, like the business element of it, and you know, like what the clothing should represent and all of that, you know.
I actually have 2 things on that, but before I get to that one, now that we're on the fashion topic, at your course at CPT, what are like some of the biggest misconception that people have about the fashion? Because I mean, I just heard you say some very interesting things.
The biggest misconception?
Yeah, because there's always, you know, people just think fashion, especially CPT, they're just thinking, oh, it's these guys just making clothes, you know?
No, it's much more layered than that, obviously, because fashion isn't just like the be all end all is not the clothing. Like, it's business. You need to know certain things. So yeah, people would think that we have like fun all day, and sometimes we do. But sometimes it's really like, yes, they don't see it as like something real, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, going back
but sometimes it's like, it's a lot of work and you need to concentrate for extended periods, like, for like since 8 till like 8 in the morning till you come out and you've just been working on like flipping one thing, So sometimes it gets really hard like that, but like, and it's very like, it's multifaceted, man. You focus on multiple things rather than just the creating, and that's what's like really hard, like having to focus on building the business and still being the creative and overseeing everything yourself, like as a designer. That's really like, that's the hard part. And people think, it's just jokes. All you do is come in, you make a t-shirt, you sell a t-shirt, you make a t-shirt for 50 rand, you sell it for 250.
And when did you finish your studies there?
No, I actually dropped out, bro.
When?
That's it.
After what? Second year? Third year?
I was like in like my thingy was a 4-year course, so there was like the extended thingy program. Because I didn't come from like an art background. I didn't like everything I did in high school wasn't like art related. So like they had like a foundational year to obviously like help you find your feet within like.